You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. Another AL Central matchup being covered. This one between the Minnesota Twins and the Cleveland Indians. The two most recent teams to win the AL Central battle it out here. The Twins in first this year in the standings and the Indians in third entering play. And on the mound for the Indians, Zach Plesac, a young pitcher related to Dan Plesac, a left-hander who used to pitch back in the late 80s, early 90s. But Plesac 6-5 in 17 starts. As Max Kepler comes to the plate. Kepler, much better numbers at home than on the road, but it's evened him out to a .297 average, 22 home runs, and 51 RBIs. Zach Plesac also has a .348 ERA and 98 in the third innings pitched. The Indians 49-39, third in the AL Central, and we'll touch upon the Twins' record more thoroughly when they go on defense. But the Twins in first, 61-27 is their record, and they lead the AL Central. The Twins have the best record in Major League Baseball entering play. They were the first team to 60 wins. And they were hot over the last 2 months. In May, they went 24-5. And in June, their record was 18-8. They finished June with 59 overall wins and 27 overall losses. They took the AL Central lead in May and kept it. The White Sox were the previous leader, but the Twins stormed in. And while the White Sox went 18-11 in the month of May, they couldn't keep up with the 24-5 pace that the Twins had, and they lost the lead. Counts even 2-2 on Max Kepler, the right fielder of the Twins. But the Twins also arguably have one of the best offenses in all of Major League Baseball, as that's fouled off. The Twins have the fourth best team average at .277. They've scored the most runs at 500. They have the most home runs as a team in Major League Baseball with 162. They've driven in the most runs. They've had the most RBIs with 496. They have the highest slugging percentage as a team at 500. And they have the third best on-base percentage as a team, 356. 9 pitch at bat ends in a strikeout. So Max Kepler did well out of the leadoff spot, didn't get on, but made Plesac throw several pitches and reveal many of his off-speed pitches as well. That's chopped in front of the plate, and Perez can't make the play. So Polanco will reach, and the official score, the official scoring decision is a base hit. So with that, Nelson Cruz comes up to the plate, .266 average, 24 home runs, and 71 RBIs entering play. He's second on the Twins behind Josh Donaldson with 24 home runs. Donaldson has 25. Cruz is tied for 6th best in the AL in home runs. As he grounds that to the left side, Lindor, Cesar Hernandez to Carlos Santana. It's a double play. Out at second, Polanco. And out at first is Cruz. That ends the top of the first inning. So no runs on 1 hit. And nobody left on base after a half inning. No score here at Progressive Field. And on the mound for the Twins is Rich Hill. Hill 1-2 in 4 starts this season. His ERA is .443. Hill pitched for many teams, but most recently he pitched for the Dodgers. Just signed with the Twins this offseason, but he started the year on the injured list. Had some prior issues that have been taken care of, and he's been activated, and he's in the Twins starting rotation. Now, there is a Twins pitcher that signed in the offseason and was supposed to be one of the more impactful starters and veterans in Homer Bailey, but Bailey had an injury in April that took him out until June. Then he was activated in June, and just about a week or two ago, Bailey broke his arm. And now he's back on the injured list. 2-1 on Francisco Lindor. But the Twins now have a starting rotation that features Jake Odorizzi, Kenta Maeda, Jose Barrios, Rich Hill, and Fernando Romero. That's fouled. The count's even 2-2. So not a bad starting rotation. Though a couple starters have their ERAs in the 5s. Grounded left side. That's through for a base hit. Francisco Lindor leads off with a single in the bottom of the first inning. So both shortstops for each team get the first hit. Polanco got an infield single in the top of the first. Lindor on. And he goes to first. He's trying to go to second. That's out to left field. And there's no doubt about that one. Oscar Mercado gives the Indians an early 2-0 lead. Lindor was running on that pitch as well. But that doesn't matter. He'll get to score with Mercado. Mercado with his 9th home run of the season. Well, let's see where that pitch was. That was up in the zone. Mercado's had a tendency this season to get a hold of pitches that are up. He's a great defender, and he runs well, but that's a hidden part of his game is when you leave pitches up in the zone, he can very well take them out of the park and at long distances, just like you saw there. There is Jose Ramirez, 289 hitter with 15 home runs and 35 RBIs entering play. 10th in the AL third baseman all-star vote. Struggling, though, playing behind guys like Miguel Andujar and Josh Donaldson. Ramirez hasn't really seen the spotlight this year. He's been in some MVP conversations in recent years as well, but most notably in 2017. But the two finishers above him were Aaron Judge and Jose Altuve. So he's always been recognized as a talented player, just hasn't gotten the accolades to go along with it. It's fouled off, the count 2-2. Started out naturally as a shortstop, but filled the Indians' need for a third baseman. He's been doing well since he's gotten used to the position. Started playing third around 2016 when the Indians went on to the World Series and lost to the Cubs. Kepler able to make that catch. That's out number 1. So with one out in the bottom of the first, we'll take a look at the starting lineup for the Cleveland Indians. Franmil Reyes was acquired in a trade last season with the Padres. He's batting 5th and he's the designated hitter. Domingo Santana signed in the offseason, as did Cesar Hernandez. You see they're 6 and 7 in the order. Everybody else has been on the team for a significant amount of time, including this guy, Carlos Santana. Santana, 328 average, best on the Indians, 5th best among American League hitters. Also 17 home runs and 58 RBIs. Switch hitter batting from the right side.
1-1.
Santana had a successful run with the Indians. Was their franchise face and their consistent their consistent first baseman, but the Indians didn't take him back in free agency around 2017. He signed with the Phillies. He signed a 3-year deal. Didn't do too well there. He hits that pitch out to left field. Catch made by Rosario. That's out number 2, but didn't do well in Philadelphia, so the Phillies,
The designated hitter.
in a huge deal, traded Santana to the Mariners. And then the Mariners traded Santana that same offseason back to the Indians, where he put up good numbers again, improved from his time in Philadelphia, and made the All-Star team last year. Got to play in front of his home crowd. Franmil Reyes at the plate, but that's kind of like the Matt Kemp story. Matt Kemp had his greatest seasons with the Dodgers, and when he played for the Padres, the Braves, and the Reds, he didn't do very well. Same thing with Santana. Tried out a new team, didn't fit well in Philadelphia, came back to Cleveland, and did much better. Oh my! Franmil Reyes! Deep to center. Goodbye, baseball. Franmil Reyes hits his 23rd home run of the season. It's 3-0 Indians. Well, let's see where this pitch landed. First of all, that was another pitch that Hill left up in the zone. Reyes definitely known to handle pitches like that. Look where that landed. 4 to 24 feet. Out into left field. So so a single, a 2-run home run, and a solo home run have accumulated 3 runs for the Indians in inning number 1, and now the number 6 hitter comes to the plate in Domingo Santana. Santana batting with 2 outs in the bottom of the first, and he takes that for a strike. Santana signed in the offseason, this past offseason. Just adds another power bat to this Indians lineup. Now you see the talent that the Indians have, though they've been overshadowed by the White Sox and the Twins. This is a team on the verge of getting 50 wins. They're 49-39, but in 3rd place in their division. Up the middle and a base hit. So the line keeps moving along. Santana singles with 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning. And with that, Cesar Hernandez gets a bat and comes up to the plate. Ground ball left side on the first pitch. Donaldson with a smooth play, but the runner's safe at second. Domingo Santana makes it to second base. Donaldson's throw was late. That won't be a base hit for Hernandez. That'll be a fielder's choice. Maybe even an error. I see why he was safe now. The throw was offline. So Donaldson with a nice effort, but can't make the play at second. So now runners on first and second, 2 outs, bottom of the first. And the 8th hitter of this half inning comes to the plate. Roberto Osuna. Or excuse me. That's the closer for the Astros. Roberto Perez. Up to the plate, the catcher of the Indians. Takes strike 1 right over the middle of the plate. Well, Hill's throwing strikes, but 2 of those strikes left the yard. 24th pitch of this half inning coming, and it's in the dirt. Blocked by Alex Avila. The count is 1-1. This is the first game of a 3-game series. And could impact the Indians. The Indians are 3 games back of the White Sox entering play. So in a scenario where the Indians sweep the Twins and the White Sox lose their next 3 games, the Indians would be tied for second place. The Indians also fighting for a wild card spot, a couple games out of the second wild card spot. The White Sox and Blue Jays have the 1 and 2 spots in the wild card standings right now. Full count 3-2. Jordan Luplow on deck. He would be the number 9 hitter of this inning. If Perez can get on, and he will, that's ball 4. That's Hill's first walk, and seems like almost everything has happened in this bottom of the first inning. Here comes the number 9 hitter, and the 9th hitter of this half inning. It's Jordan Luplow. Former outfielder with the Pittsburgh Pirates. That's where he made his debut, but has played the bulk of his career here in Cleveland. That's ripped to right center field. Kepler running back, and he'll play it off the wall. 1 run comes in. And 2 runs come in on that double.
Now batting, shortstop,
Oh, a whole lot of problems for the Twins early. So with 2 outs, all the runners could advance. Santana and Hernandez both score on the play. Perez moves to third. Luplow on second with an RBI double. And here comes Rocco Baldelli. Rich Hill is done after 2/3 of an inning. That's hard to believe, but Hill just did not have his stuff, and Baldelli won't let him face the order again. Here is Devin Smeltzer. 2-1 in 4 appearances, making his 5th of the year. And he has a ERA of 5 even in 18 innings pitched. Smeltzer fighting for a rotation spot with Homer Bailey out right now. The Twins have elected to put Fernando Romero in the lineup, but Smeltzer on the Major League roster for situations like this. So the Twins trailing 5-0, still the bottom of the first inning. And here's the hitter that started it all, Francisco Lindor. Lindor singled and scored on Oscar Mercado's home run earlier this inning. This is the second time Lindor is coming to the plate in this half inning. Perez walked, he's on third. Luplow doubled home 2, he's on second. Lindor switch hitter, still batting from the right side. 2 lefties have pitched so far. That's deep to right field. Kepler running back, and he can't make the play. Perez scores from third. Luplow scores from second. A 7-run half inning that's not over yet. Francisco Lindor gets a couple RBIs on this double. His second hit of the inning. Holy smokes. The hurt not over yet for the Twins. Not yet. Here's Oscar Mercado. Mercado started scoring in this half inning with a 2-run home run off Rich Hill. Hill faced the Indians' order, then got taken out after giving up 5 earned runs. Actually, now he has 7 earned runs, because both those runners that just scored on the Lindor double were his responsibility. So Hill done. He gave up 7 earned runs in 2/3 of an inning. That's out to left field. Eddie Rosario makes the catch, and this inning mercifully over. 11 batters come to the plate for the Indians. 7 of them score. A couple home runs were hit and a few other RBI base hits. But at the end of 1 full inning, the Indians have a 7-0 lead over the Twins. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis, and for the Twins, it's an uphill battle from here. 7-0 the score in the middle of the order. Up to bat, Josh Donaldson, Eddie Rosario, and Miguel Sano. Donaldson, .311 hitter with 25 home runs and 65 RBIs. He's among the top of several leaderboards for American League hitters. And he has a case to make the All-Star game coming up in less than 2 weeks. He's 4th in the AL All-Star voting tally. And he's a former All-Star in the American League. Made the All-Star game with the Athletics in 2014. And with the Blue Jays when he was there. Made it a couple years with them. He was also a most valuable player with the Blue Jays in 2015. Talented player, enhancing an already powerful lineup that the Twins have.
Ball 3.
And he's on his way to being an All-Star again.
3 balls, 1 strike.
Three ball, 1 strike count. Here's the pitch. That's ball 4.
Down, ball 4.
Second base runner on for the Twins here in the top of the second.
That is good.
Leadoff walk issued by Zach Plesac, and now here's Eddie Rosario. .258 hitter with 17 home runs and 47 RBIs. He's bordering making an All-Star appearance, 5th in All-Star voting among left fielders in the American League. That's foul. Strike 1. Yeah, I'm not sure that Donaldson will start, though. Like I said, there's so many choices, so many third basemen doing well this season in the American League. Miguel Andujar comes to mind immediately. He's having a breakout season. Not that he didn't do well before, but this year he's putting up very good numbers, leading the American League in hits and batting average.
That's ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike, the count.
2-1 count. That's fouled off. Counts even 2-2. It's fouled off again. Still a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Fouled off again. Rosario putting together a quality at bat. Max Kepler made Zach Plesac throw 9 pitches to start the game. And this at bat ends in a strikeout, just like Kepler's at bat did. Second strikeout for Plesac.
Batting fifth, the first baseman.
That's out number 2. He's kind of flailed at that breaking ball inside. Well placed by Plesac, and now with 2 outs, here comes Miguel Sano. 275 hitter with 18 home runs and 49 RBIs. Takes ball 1. Sano now playing first base because Donaldson's over at third. Helps him not be a defensive liability, and he's still producing well in the middle of this order. 1-0 pitch. Fouled off, counts 1-1. Counts 2-1. But back to some of the talented third basemen in the American League. You have players like Alex Bregman, Anthony Rendon, along with Josh Donaldson and Miguel Andujar, but those are around your top 4 or 5 that you're likely to see in the All-Star game. And Donaldson, well, he's doing well. Not well enough to be in the top 3 yet, but borderline, he might make it. So no strikes out. Plesac now with 3 strikeouts.
The second base.
Like, look at this, another off-speed pitch by Plesac. So that's out number 2 here in inning number 2, and here is Luis Arias. Had a short stint on the injured list about a week ago, but back in the starting lineup. Donaldson will try to advance. Throw down from Perez is a little bit late. So a wild pitch by Plesac allows Donaldson to advance into scoring position with 2 outs. And Perez just couldn't keep that one in front of him. Arias ahead in the count. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch. Outside, counts 2-0. But Arias had a short stint on the injured list, then came back. He and Byron Buxton, 2 of the players on this team that have more of a contact approach. Everybody else definitely more power focused. Counts 3-0. That's deep to right. That is a chance to stay fair. And that ball is gone. So I guess my foot's in my mouth now. Arias demonstrating his power game. That's his 5th home run of the season, and now the Twins trail by 5, but chipping away at that 7-run deficit. Just over that right field wall, and Plesac, yeah, he knew it immediately. And he kind of admired it as well, just in a different way. But now 7-2 is the score, and here's Alex Avila.
Batting eighth, the catcher, Alex.
That's strike 1.
1-1.
Avila, 248 hitter, 4 home runs and 21 RBIs. Been the Twins' consistent catcher ever since they dealt Mitch Garver to the Dodgers. That was over a month ago when that trade went down, and Avila down on the count, no balls and 2 strikes.
count is
It's down low. The count's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Two runs in for the Twins in this top of the second inning.
ball, that's out.
3 home runs hit total between the two teams. Oscar Mercado and Franmil Reyes each hit home runs in the bottom of the first inning. Part of a half inning where the Indians scored 7 runs and sent 11 hitters to the plate. That's fouled off. The count still even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, early on, this game definitely doesn't have the feeling of the pitchers being on point. Swing and a miss there. Zach Plesac with 4 strikeouts. That ends the top of the second inning, but Luis Arias puts the Twins on the board with this 2-run home run. It's 7-2, a 5-run lead for the Indians going to the bottom of the second inning. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Gallis. 3, 4, 5 hitters due up in the Indians order. Jose Ramirez, Carlos Santana, and Franmil Reyes. This is the encore to the bottom of the first inning, where the Indians sent 11 hitters to the plate and scored 7 of them on 2 home runs. Jose Ramirez was one of 2 early outs. Grounds that one to the left side. Played by Polanco. Throws to Sano. That's 1 out for Devin Smeltzer. Devin Smeltzer did not start for the Twins in this game. Rich Hill did. Rich Hill faced all 9 hitters in the bottom of the first inning and didn't record 3 outs. So he got taken out. Then Smeltzer came in, gave up a hit, but got the final out of the inning. Rich Hill tallied with 7 earned runs, or I should say tagged, with 7 earned runs in 2/3 of an inning. Santana flies out to Buxton for the second out of the bottom of the second inning, and this one progressing in a shorter manner than the bottom of the first did. Here comes Franmil Reyes. Hit his 23rd home run of the season and drove in his 64th RBI, which was himself, with a solo home run last inning. Facing another lefty in Devin Smeltzer, and already a third left-hander potentially could come into the game. Scott Alexander warming up. Smeltzer is a long relief pitcher, so he's trained to have the stamina to pitch many innings. More than 1 or 2, but Scott Alexander warming up. The only one warming up in the Twins bullpen right now, and nobody warming up in the Indians bullpen. Plesac giving up just 2 runs, which could have been damaging if it were not for the fact that the Indians scored 7 in the first. 3 ball, no strike pitch. That's fouled off. Counts 3-1. Franmil Reyes made his debut with the San Diego Padres, and last season he got traded from the Padres to the Indians, and has created a powerful presence as a designated hitter. Not great defensively, but not every player needs to be great defensively when there's a designated hitter in the league. High fly ball toward left center field. That's going to fall. One off the wall. Buxton plays it. Gets it in quickly. The relay to second is late. Franmil Reyes with his second hit of the game. It's a double with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Let's see where that pitch was. Another high pitch. More like belt high, not as high as the one that Hill threw him when he hit the home run last inning, but still belt high, middle of the zone, and Reyes seeing the ball well today. 2 outs, bottom of the second. Here's Domingo Santana. Santana singled in his last at bat and later scored. Facing Devin Smeltzer for the first time this game. And there's a runner in scoring position. Santana takes ball 1. Well, the team with arguably the best offense in Major League Baseball losing early to an Indians team that's been overshadowed through the first half of this season. Up the middle. Past Polanco, that's a base hit. Reyes being waved around. Buxton's throw in is a bit offline. Avila had to backhand it, so he could not tag out Reyes, who scores on the play, and Santana picks up his second hit and an RBI. It's 8-2. The Indians extend their lead. Now watch that again. If that was thrown to the glove side, Reyes potentially could have been tagged out, but the fact that it was to the backhand side allowed Reyes to sneak in. So Santana on first. 2 outs and a 1-0 count on Cesar Hernandez. Hernandez, switch hitter, batting from the right side, reached on what was eventually scored an error by Josh Donaldson, which extended the bottom of the first inning. Donaldson attempted to get the out at second when Hernandez hit a ground ball to him, but the throw was offline, so that resulted in the error. Buxton makes the catch out in left center field. That's the third out of the second inning. The Indians get another run after Domingo Santana hits an RBI single. After 2 full innings, it's 8-2. The Indians lead it. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20, and I am neither of those 3 gentlemen. My name is Nicholas Callis. This game is brought to you, though, by MLB The Show 20. 9-1-2 hitters do it for the Twins to begin this half inning. Byron Buxton, Max Kepler, and Jorge Polanco. Ball one's upstairs, counts 1-0. And I absolutely agree with that when talking about real baseball and the 60-game season coming back, or the 60-game season making baseball come back, or allowing baseball to come back. Yeah, the universal DH will help some teams. I certainly believe that. You have an extra hitter who won't be a defensive liability and can just focus on hitting. That certainly could give any advantage to a team. Play made out in center by Mercado. That's out number 1. That starts the third inning. And with that, here are the American League Central standings. See the Twins infinitely above the other teams, 61-27. That's the best record in Major League Baseball entering today. And the Indians, who have been overshadowed, still putting up a good season. 49-39 is their record. They're 12 games back of the Central lead. And they're just 3 games back of the White Sox, who are in second place. Here's Max Kepler. Struck out after a 9-pitch at bat the first time he came to the plate. Facing Zach Plesac for the second time in this game. Nothing in 1 pitch. Down low, counts 1-1. But I got some news just a bit ago about Major League Baseball and how the coronavirus has affected it. And apparently 38 players have tested positive for the coronavirus. 31 players, excuse me, it was 31 players and 7 staff members, but 38 total who have an active role on a team. 31 players, 7 staff members, which, according to the report as well, makes up about 1% of all teams and personnel. So take that how you will. Just are rumors that it can spread quickly and easily, especially since symptoms aren't always apparent right away, but a bit scary to think about. That's strike 1. Max Kepler just struck out. Now here's Jorge Polanco. And I didn't hear of any names, or I didn't see any names listed. I think that a lot of the sports leagues have taken an initiative to keep that information private, like not mention any names, just mention numbers. Just out of respect for the players who might have contracted it. Polanco pops out on the infield. That ends the top of the third inning. No runs, no hits. Nobody left on base for the Twins. Going to the bottom of the third. It's 8-2. The Indians lead the Twins. There's Heidi Watney. Man, everything's moving so quickly. Transitioning into the bottom of the third. But the Indians have their bottom of the order leading off the inning. Roberto Perez, the first to bat. He'll be followed by Jordan Luplow. And then Francisco Lindor will bat third. And the order recycles. Devin Smeltzer still on the mound. No runs. I correct myself. He's given up 1 earned run so far. Rich Hill responsible for the other 7 earned. That's fouled off. The count's no balls and 2 strikes. Roberto Perez walked in his first plate appearance. Stays alive in this one. Counts 0-2. Rich Hill, in his start, faced 9 batters. Ended up giving up 7 runs. Gave up 2 long balls. Got replaced after 2/3 of an inning. That's where Devin Smeltzer came in. Perez pops out to Miguel Sano. That's out number 1 to start the bottom of the 3rd inning. So 1 out, bottom of the 3rd inning. Here's Jordan Luplow. Luplow drove in a couple runs on a double that he hit. Luplow was the last hitter to face Rich Hill before he got taken out. That's ball 1. I think Dylan Carlson will be in the Futures game, although I don't know how this game operates and functions, so I can't guarantee which players will be in and which ones won't. But I hope for your sake that Dylan Carlson's in there. And there's still some rumors that Carlson might get called up for the Cardinals in the second half, but I'll have to see if those come to fruition when the season restarts after the All-Star break. Luplow flies out to Kepler there. That's out number 2 in the bottom of the 3rd inning. So 2 quick outs for Smeltzer, and that'll bring up the top of the order again. Francisco Lindor. Lindor got to bat twice in the 1st inning, and he got 2 hits. Drove in some runs as well. Now batting here with the bases empty and 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd. Lindor leads the Indians in doubles with 20 this season. 1-0 pitch from Smeltzer. That's high, counts 2-0. Smeltzer working his way up to 30 pitches. Counts 2-1. He's officially now pitched 2 full innings. Came in with 2 outs in the 1st, and now there are 2 outs in the 3rd. Three ball, 1 strike count on Lindor, and Oscar Mercado is on deck. High fly ball towards center. Buxton makes the catch, and that ends the 3rd inning. The Indians get no runs on no hits and leave nobody on base. After 3 full innings, the Indians lead the Twins. It's 8-2. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis. 3-4-5 hitters due up for the Twins. Nelson Cruz, Josh Donaldson, and Eddie Rosario. Also, if you're enjoying these games or you want to know what other games will be featured throughout every day, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. MLB Virtual Network's the name. Just type it in and our channel should come up. You can get notified on when we go live and when we upload videos. Both notifications are important. We feature 3 live games every day in an effort to make sure that every team is featured at least once per week. We also upload results and standings updates, which is a section you can find on our homepage as well, where a recap of every game every day is given, as well as an update on where the standings are and who the league leaders are. So you can find out where your favorite team or teams stand at a certain point in the season, or you can find out which players are doing the best in any given league. You can also follow us on Twitter at VirtualMLB is the handle. The same videos we upload to YouTube also go out to Twitter. So you shouldn't miss anything as Cruz strikes out. And also on Twitter, to enhance your experience, we give updates on important information such as transactions, trades, and injuries. Plus, the schedule's posted on Twitter. It's posted every Sunday, either Saturday night or Sunday. And you can find it on YouTube as well. Our upcoming live streams section is right at the top of the homepage, so you can look at either Twitter or YouTube and find out when your favorite team or teams are playing, or you can just check out any game at will if you miss baseball or you like watching baseball. But my name is Nicholas Callis. Just a reminder, this is live commentary. This isn't a pre-recorded game. This is me right now speaking live and calling the game as it happens. And this is something I do from time to time when I come on here. More often than not. But I like to provide the live commentary just to keep everybody engaged so you don't hear the generic phrases that sometimes can hear consistently with the video game recordings. As Plesac strikes out his 7th batter of the game. That's out number 2. But while this game is live, feel free to join in the live chat. You can start discussions with me if you want a shout out. Feel free to ask for one, and if I read it, I'll give it to you. But you can start baseball discussions either real or virtual with me or other people in the live chat. So make sure you're being respectful, but I encourage everybody to participate as they wish. That's ripped to right field. That's going to tail foul. The count's 1-1. Rosario has an RBI for each of the last 3 games he's played in. The Twins just swept the Tigers in a 3-game series. That was a direct AL Central matchup. The Indians split a 4-game series with the Astros over this last week. One-two pitch. On the ground against the shift. That's a base hit. Rosario might get extra bases out of this. Santana plays it in left. And he gets it in, but it's offline and late. So Rosario, beating the shift, gets himself a 2-out extra base hit. Rick Bradford, nice to see you, sir. Thanks for joining us in this game.
Outside, that's the ball.
Also, I mentioned this in the other game, but I'd like to thank everybody who's watching now and who's been supporting the channel. We reached 100 subscribers this morning, and I appreciate that very much. So for everybody who is watching or supporting, it's really appreciated here. So from me and everybody else here at MLB Virtual Network, we like to thank you for all of your support, and we appreciate you loving the game enough to enjoy this channel as best you can, especially with all of the circumstances going on in the world right now. Miguel Sano at the plate, 2-1 count. That is fouled away. The count's even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Inside, counts full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Luis Arias on deck. He hit a 2-run home run to put the Twins on the board. It's still a 6-run game. Rosario on second base. Here's the pitch. That's fouled away. Count still full, 3-2. And that's part of the scariness that the Twins hold, because even though they're down by 6 runs, there are so many power hitters in this lineup that the game could tilt almost immediately with the right swings from the right players. But Plesac pitches around Sano on 3-2. I guess pitching around him isn't the right terminology, but he did walk him after the full count. So now Rosario's on second. He doubled with 2 outs. Sano's on first, who just walked, and now Luis Arias comes to the plate. Arias hit his 5th home run of the season and his last at bat. It was a 2-run home run. The only 2 runs the Twins have scored to this point. And Arias, his game's not power, but showed off some power in that last at bat. Also 3rd on the Twins with a .298 batting average. A 1 pitch. That's strike 2, well placed by Plesac. Arraez is quickly down on the count. No balls and 2 strikes. In the dirt. Gets away from Perez for a second, but he's able to gather it back up. So no advance from the runners on base. That's down low. The count's 2-2. Outside counts full 3-2. Luis Arraez is also part of the reason why the Twins didn't go back out and re-sign Jonathan Schoop when Schoop went into free agency. The Tigers scooped him up, but where the Tigers stand right now, and Arraez, the Twins had enough faith in him to make him an everyday starter, and so far he's been doing well. Runners go. That misses down low. And not a good look right now for the Indians.
Now batting, the catcher, Alex.
As Alex Avila is going to come to the plate with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Still a 6-run game, but as I mentioned, all but 2 hitters in this lineup don't have a power-based game, but Avila not one of those hitters. 0 for 1 in this game, but a chance to make up some ground in the score. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Top of the 4th, no ball, 1 strike count. That's fouled away. And again, Plesac ahead. No balls and 2 strikes. He quickly got ahead of Luis Arraez, but then turned around and walked him. So let's see what happens here. Just missed over the inside edge. The count's 1-2. Got him to chase, and that ends the top of the 4th inning. The Twins able to post a 2-out rally and get the bases loaded, but they failed to score. After 3.5 innings, the Indians lead the Twins. It's 8-2. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis. 2, 3, 4 hitters due up in the lineup for the Indians: Oscar Mercado, Jose Ramirez, and Carlos Santana. The Indians sent 11 hitters to the plate in the first inning. 7 of them came around to score. There were also a couple home runs, one of which was hit by this guy. The other hit by Franmil Reyes. The Indians got an extra run in the second inning. They haven't scored since the second, though it's only been a couple innings. The Twins got on the board an inning ago with a Luis Arraez 2-run home run. I correct myself. Arraez hit his 2-run home run. I'm losing my timeline a bit. It was in the second or third that Arraez hit his 2-run home run. I'm thinking it was the second inning now that I think about it, because then the Indians immediately tacked on a run in the bottom of the second inning. Neither team scored in the third. And now we're here in the 4th. The Indians went down after leaving the bases loaded in the top of the 4th inning. And Mercado leads off the bottom of the 4th with a ground out to Miguel Sano. That's out number 1.
Up next for Cleveland.
Well, there's the starting line score for Rich Hill. Or the final line score for Rich Hill, I should say. 2/3 of an inning. Gave up 7 earned runs on 5 hits. Faced every hitter in the Indians' order in 1 inning. And then Balotelli took him out. So far, Devin Smeltzer's given up 1 earned run, but has stifled the Indians' offense. No ball, 1 strike count. Jose Ramirez at the plate, a switch hitter batting from the right side. Counts 1-1. Scott Alexander was warming up in the Twins bullpen, but he has since sat down.
We got 2 balls, 1 strike.
Smeltzer, a product of the Twins organization. Somebody who very likely will start in the future if he keeps doing well, but right now he's in a long relief role. And the Twins have needed him in this game after Rich Hill did not have his best stuff. So a leadoff single for the Indians in the bottom of the fourth inning. And that'll bring up Carlos Santana. Santana 0 for 2, one of a few hitters in this Indians lineup that does not have a hit yet. Counts 1-0. Let's just go down the batting order for the Indians. Francisco Lindor has a hit. Oscar Mercado has a hit. Jose Ramirez just got a hit. Franmil Reyes has a hit. Domingo Santana has a hit. Roberto Perez and Jordan Luplow have a hit. So Cesar Hernandez and Carlos Santana, the only two hitters in the Indians lineup that don't have hits. Two ball, no strike count. That's out to right field, and look at that. Santana's on the board. Now there's just one hitter of 9 that doesn't have a hit in this Indians lineup. Santana at second base with a double. Advancing to third on the play is Ramirez. So 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out. And Franmil Reyes is coming to the plate. Reyes is homered and doubled. That RBI he got was on his home run, but he's in a run-producing spot here. In a potential run-scoring spot here, I should correct myself, but 289 average now after going 2 for 2, and he'll be guaranteed at least one more at-bat in this game. The way the Indians are swinging, he might get 2. No ball, 1 strike count. Down low, counts 1-1.
1-1.
It's an 8-2 Indians lead. Bottom of the fourth, 1 out. Strike 2. One ball, 2 strikes. Devin Smeltzer's pitch on the way. It's about to be his 50th since he's come into the game. That pitch misses inside, counts even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's ripped foul. The count remains even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Smeltzer thrown more strikes than balls. Just 1 earned run given up to this point. But he's in trouble here. That was left up in the zone. And that's a base hit for Franmil Reyes. 1 run comes around. Ramirez scores from third. Santana elects to advance just from second to third base. So Franmil Reyes with 2 RBIs now. That's a single for him. And it's 9-2. The Indians build upon their lead. And just to mention, Reyes is a triple away from the cycle. 1 out, bottom of the fourth. Runners at the corners for Domingo Santana, who has a couple singles, one of which drove in a run. Many participants in the Indians' lopsided lead at the moment.
No ball, 2 strike.
No ball, 2 strike count on Santana. To the Twins' credit, it's still the bottom of the fourth, so they'll bat again in the fifth. They have about 4 offensive innings to get something together, but the Indians just swinging the bats well today. And almost every hitter in the lineup has at least 1 hit.
Nope. Ball 1.
There are a significant amount of batters who have tallied RBIs now in this game, too, for the Indians. Good discipline from Santana, counts 2-2. And there's the splits from this inning alone for Devin Smeltzer. 14 strikes, 25 pitches. 56 pitches total. The end of his road might be coming along soon as well. Too high, counts full, 3-2. Smeltzer came in with 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning. He ended up getting out of the inning with just 1 run scoring. or 2 runs scoring, now that I correct myself. Gave up 2 runs. Both were tallied on Rich Hill's scoreline. But he's been pitching ever since the first inning. He strikes out Santana there. That's 2 outs now in the bottom of the 4th inning.
The batter, number 7.
And you be the judge of that. Santana chirping a bit.
Hernandez.
That's where that pitch was. Now 2 outs, bottom of the 4th. And here's Cesar Hernandez, the only hitter left in the Indians' order that hasn't gotten a hit or reached base. But look at that. Right on cue. And he has an RBI. I got to start counting which hitters have RBIs in the lineup. Cesar Hernandez with an RBI single. It's now 10-2. The Indians extend their lead. Well, it's a good day if you're an Indians hitter, and also Zach Plesac, I'm sure, is thankful for such a padding. Now here's Roberto Osuna.
Count 1-0.
Well, I guess I was wrong. Osuna reached base on a walk, didn't get a hit. But he did reach base, so the statement is true that every hitter in the Indians' order reached base, but not everyone has a hit yet. And my cue doesn't work there for Roberto Perez. He makes the catch. And I think I said Osuna before, too, so my apologies to Roberto Perez, but he flies out to Byron Buxton. That ends the 4th inning. The Indians get another run, though, and they lead it 10-2 going into inning number 5. Well, there's Heidi Watney. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. This game brought to you by MLB The Show 20, and as we go to the 5th inning, the Indians have a 10-2 lead over the Twins, and I want to correct myself again. It's hard to keep track of the Indians scoring with how much offense they've provided themselves throughout the first roughly half of this game. But the Indians got 2 runs in that bottom of the 4th inning to extend their lead to 10-2. 9-1-2 hitters do it for the Indians to begin this half inning. Byron Buxton, Max Kepler, and Jorge Polanco. And a couple of pitchers warming up now in the Indians bullpen, Oliver Perez and Hunter Wood. It's been quite a display of Indians offense in this game. The Twins got a home run from Luis Arias, a 2-run home run, tallying their only 2 runs of the game to this point. The Indians were thrusted ahead by a 7-run first inning as Buxton hits that fair down the left field line. Santana plays it, but Buxton runs well, and he'll get into second base easily. Leadoff double for the Twins, the 16th of the season for Byron Buxton. Let's watch this again. Look at Ramirez was playing in, so it was hard for him to get around on that. Couldn't make a play on it. And since that got into the corner, Buxton able to race himself into second base. Now here's Max Kepler. A couple strikeouts against Plesac, and Plesac spikes that first pitch. That's ball 1. And yes, it is true, Oliver Perez has been pitching for a long time. That is an accurate statement. He started with the Padres back in 2003. Then he became a starter for the Pittsburgh Pirates from 2004 to 2006. Got traded to the Mets. Pitched for the Mets in the 2006 postseason. Or maybe I'm thinking 2007. No, I was right, 2006. And then they pitched for them into 2007 and part of 2008. And he became more of a bullpen arm, and he bounced around so many teams. But he's played a few seasons now with the Indians. That's a swing and a miss. That's out number 1. So Max Kepler follows the Byron Buxton double with a strikeout, his 3rd of the game. That's the hat trick for him. And that's the 9th strikeout by Zach Plesac in this game. So 1 out top of the 5th. Here's Jorge Polanco, switch hitter batting from the left side. Ball 1 misses upstairs. Polanco singled in the first inning. It was an infield single. Misplayed a bit by Roberto Perez behind the plate, but the official score was a base hit. That's it well out to left field. That goes Santana. He makes the catch. Buxton will tag from second, and he'll get into third base. So a rather productive out
Now back, designated hitter.
by Jorge Polanco, and with 2 outs, Nelson Cruz comes up to the plate. Cruz 0 for 2 in this game out of the 3 spot. There's a chance here to drive in a run with a base hit. Byron Buxton doubled the lead off this inning. And he advanced to third on the Polanco flyout. Nelson Cruz made his debut with the Milwaukee Brewers in 2005. Played the bulk of his career with the Texas Rangers from 2006 to 2013. Then got traded to the Orioles. Played there for most of 2014. Signed a deal in free agency with the Seattle Mariners. Played there from 2015 to 2018. And signed with the Twins in the 18-19 offseason. And this is his second year with the Twins. And even though he's aged, his ability to hit for power and drive in runs has not ceased. And the designated hitter role is perfect for him on this roster. Doesn't have to worry about fielding and can just focus on doing what he's done best for the majority of his career, which is come through in the clutch, hit home runs, drive in runs, and help the team win. That's it well out to right field. Luplow running after it. He makes the catch. The top of the 5th inning is over. No runs for the Twins despite a leadoff double. 1 runner left on after 4.5 innings. It's the Indians 10 and the Twins 2. Scott Alexander comes into the game and replaces Devin Smeltzer. Smeltzer made it through 3 1/3 innings and gave up 3 earned runs. Now Scott Alexander into the game. Will face the 9-1-2 hitters in the Indians order: Jordan Luplow, Francisco Lindor, and Oscar Mercado. That's fouled off the count 1-1. Jordan Luplow 1 for 2, also drove in a couple of runs in his first at bat, and he was a part of that bottom of the 1st inning where the Indians scored 7 runs. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. A little bit outside, counts even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Luplow, former Pittsburgh Pirate, has broken out with the Indians, especially against left-handed pitching. He's been a player that started in the outfield when a lefty's been on the mound. You see in this game, just one example of, well, he's done rather well. He already has some RBIs and a base hit under his belt. That was off of the lefty Rich Hill. Fly ball. That's a right field. Max Kepler seems to have a play, and he makes the catch. So that's 1 out to start the bottom of the 5th inning.
Up next for Cleveland.
And with that, the top of the order comes back up for the Indians. It's Francisco Lindor. Lindor 2 for 3. He had a single in his first at bat, and then he doubled, which drove across 2 runs in his second at bat. Lindor, a former Silver Slugger Award winner for shortstops back in 2018. He does have a nice balance of power and contact in his game. He's also an elite defender. Also a former All-Star. Got to play in front of his home crowd last season when Progressive Field was the host stadium of the All-Star game. One ball, 2-strike count. On the ground right side. Arias throws to Sano. That's out number 2. So 2 outs, bottom of the 5th inning, and Oscar Mercado will come to the plate.
Mercado.
There are several right-handed hitters in this Indians lineup. Rocco Baldelli has had 3 lefties in this game now. Rich Hill, Devin Smeltzer, and now Scott Alexander. Scott Alexander got traded from the Dodgers to the Twins in the Mitch Garver trade. The Twins also acquired 2 other prospects that didn't make the Major League roster from the Dodgers for Garver. But Alexander's been a pretty solid pitcher in the Twins bullpen. The bullpen might be hard at work from this point. No other pitchers, a long relief pitcher on this pitching staff. Nobody that isn't a starter, though, minus the 5 starters in the rotation. Most of these pitchers just shorter relief pitchers and 1 to 2 inning guys. But Alexander finishes off the 5th inning by setting the Indians down 1-2-3. Watch his pitch again. A sinker that just dips below the zone gets Mercado. After 5 full innings, the Twins still trail the Indians 10-2.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention.
And into the game for the Indians comes Oliver Perez, making his 36th appearance of the season, has a 3.18 ERA and 34 innings pitched. And coming into the game for the Twins, or coming up to bat, I should say, is Josh Donaldson. Middle of the order due up, Josh Donaldson, Eddie Rosario, and Miguel Sano. So Zach Plesac pitched 5 full innings, gave up 2 earned runs, and also struck out 9 batters. As mentioned before, Oliver Perez made his debut with the San Diego Padres back in 2003. Started for the Pittsburgh Pirates in 2004, 5 and 6. Got traded in the middle of the 2006 season to the Mets, where he started there and was a part of their postseason run in 2006, where they lost to the St. Louis Cardinals, who eventually went on to win the World Series. But Perez has bounced around several teams. Now pitching for the Indians, and part of a bullpen that has been more or less lights out. There's a few pitchers who are still establishing themselves, a few that are struggling, but Perez, one of the better pitchers in the bullpen. Of course, Brad Hand, the closer, who is 2nd in the American League in saves. Emmanuel Clase, also a young pitcher trying to establish himself, was acquired in the trade that sent Corey Kluber to the Rangers. Swing and a miss, the count's full 3-2. And this is just an example of the Indians having a good team, a team that can compete with the Twins and even the White Sox. The only issue is that the Twins and White Sox have done well not only in the division in certain cases, but have also been dominating teams out of the division, which have allowed them to succeed in the standings. Donaldson called out on strikes. 1 out, top of the 6th inning, and that'll bring up Eddie Rosario, who's 1 for 2. He doubled in his last at bat. The infield's still shifting him, but Rosario beat the shift in his last at bat. Also, this is game 1 of a 3-game series, and this series will last throughout the weekend. Phil Maytone and Hunter Wood now warming up in the bullpen, both right-handed pitchers. Against the shift toward left. And that'll go foul. The count's 0-2. But this very well might be a big series, not only for the Twins and the Indians, but the White Sox will be directly affected by this as well.
1 ball, 2 strikes, the count.
If the Twins are able to sweep the series or even win it, just outright, the Twins will gain more ground on the White Sox regardless of whether the White Sox win or not. Now, if the White Sox lose and the Indians win or sweep the series, then the Indians will close in on second place and a wild card spot.
Oh, that pitch is out.
But if the White Sox win and the Indians win, then the Twins will lose ground in their AL Central lead. So a lot of factors playing in for these three teams. Out to left center field, Santana able to run it down. That's out number 2. And Rick Bradford, to answer your question, Danny Salazar is not hurt.
Up next for the Twins, the first baseman, Miguel.
And I'll check for you right now, but it's my understanding he's still in the Indians rotation as Miguel Sano comes to the plate. That's strike 1. Well, I don't have an immediate explanation, but Danny Salazar is not on the Indians roster, so I can't give you a direct answer right now, but that's a question that can be answered in Twitter later on. I'll be sure to check on that. Counts 1-1 on Sano. No major league player right now is on the injured list for the Indians. The big name on the Twins injured list is Homer Bailey. Broke his arm. And he'll be on the injured list for about 1 to 2 months. Still uncertain yet, but it's early, so he's certainly still in the healing process. One ball, 2 strike count. Swing and a miss. Oliver Perez sets down the Twins in order. After 5.5 innings at Progressive Field, the Indians lead it 10-2 over the Twins. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis. Part of the order due up for the Indians in this half inning: Jose Ramirez, Carlos Santana, and Franmil Reyes. So 8 of the 9 Indians hitters have gotten a hit. All 9 have reached base at least once. As Ramirez gets that one into center field for a base hit. So another runner on base for the Indians. This team just not letting up in this game, and as they shouldn't. They're playing the first place team in their division right now. So Carlos Santana will come to the plate. Santana 1 for 3 with a double. And there's the mascot getting the fans pumped up. A game that doesn't have tension right now, but certainly one to get excited for, especially for the home team. The Indians leading it and putting on a show offensively. 10-2 the score in the bottom of the 6th. Scott Alexander still on the mound, by the way. He came in the 5th and relieved Devin Smeltzer. Pitched 1 full scoreless inning, and now he's here in the 6th. And he gives up back-to-back singles to the Indians. Jose Ramirez led off with a single. Now here's Carlos Santana following that up with a single. Walsh struck out to right center. That'll bring up Franmil Reyes now, who is 3 for 3 and is a triple shy of the cycle. Take strike 1 at the top of the zone.
0-1.
Well, we haven't witnessed any cycles this season on our broadcasts. We can't prove that a cycle was hit throughout the season. We just haven't checked the box scores very often. But Reyes close. And he might get one more at bat at this as well. It's not guaranteed. Foul tips that one into the mitt of Alex Avila. The count's 1-2. Delino DeShields is on the Major League roster. He was in minor league baseball, but then he got called back up, and Greg Allen got sent down. That happened just a couple days ago. Wasn't recorded on Twitter, though, because it wasn't a huge transaction. Into right field, that's a base hit. Back-to-back-to-back singles have loaded the bases. Franmil Reyes, 4 for 4. This is his second single of the game. And the Indians in prime position to score with nobody out and the bases loaded. They're already up 10-2. But more opportunity has arisen. Here's Domingo Santana. 2 for 3 with a couple singles and a run batted in. Helping the average out a bit. Up to 261 now. Scott Alexander hasn't given up any earned runs yet. Again, he's in his second inning out of the bullpen. Ooh, Santana was out in front of that breaking ball. Counts 0-2. Swing and a miss. Pivotal strikeout there. So a double play gets the Twins out of the inning.
Second baseman, Cesar.
One out, bases still loaded. Here's Cesar Hernandez. Like many other hitters in the Indians' order, he has gotten a hit and driven in a run. Into center. Base hit. Buxton can't make the catch. Ramirez scores from third base. Santana moves from second to third.
The catcher, number 55.
Reyes moves from first to second. And there's Cesar Hernandez with his second run batted in of the game. And his second hit. It's now 11-2. The Indians continue to add to their lead. Here's Roberto Perez, who's 0 for 2. The only player left in the Indians' order that doesn't have a hit yet. Let me just run through some of the hitters on this Indians order, or in this Indians order. I remember Lindor got an RBI. That's one player. Oscar Mercado got an RBI. Can't remember if Ramirez or Santana did. I know Reyes did and Santana did. Hernandez did. And Luplow did. That's 6 guaranteed hitters out of 9 that have driven in a run for the Indians in this game.
The right fielder, number 8.
So there's a pop-up there by Roberto Perez and an automatic out on the infield fly rule. So 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. And that'll bring up Jordan Luplow, who doubled in a couple runs back in the first inning. That was his only hit, too, back in inning number 1. The Indians got 7 runs in the first inning, and they chased Rich Hill from the game. That's strike 1. Rich Hill faced 9 hitters, all 9 Indians hitters in the bottom of the first inning. Still couldn't get 3 outs, and he got taken out. Devin Smeltzer came in, limited the damage, but he still gave up some runs. Every pitcher that's come onto the mound for the Twins in this game has given up at least 1 run. Scott Alexander just gave up his run. Still not quite out of this inning yet.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
That's outside, counts 1-2. The Indians got another run in this half inning. Cesar Hernandez and an RBI single with the bases loaded. Alexander not quite out of trouble yet. He's a strike away from getting out of it. Pitches inside, counts 2-2. Luplow also has more success against left-handed pitching than right-handed pitching, so slight advantage for Luplow. 2 ball, 2 strike pitch. Down low, counts full, 3-2. So all the runners will be moving on this pitch with a 3 ball, 2 strike count and 2 outs. There go the runners. And that's a fly ball. Left center field. Back toward the wall. That ball is gone. That's a grand slam home run for Jordan Luplow, his 4th home run of the season. And it is now 15-2. The Indians lead it. All the runners were moving. And it's just made this a little bit more intense, but that ball leaves the yard.
Now pitching for the Twins, number 36.
And that chases Scott Alexander from the game. Tyler Clippard now into pitch. Scott Alexander gave up 5 earned runs in this bottom of the 6th inning. We're not even into the last third of this game yet. This is still the middle 3rd innings. And the top of the order up now for the Indians. And Tyler Clippard into the game. Clippard, the first right-handed pitcher to make an appearance in this game. That's strike 2. Not a great look for the Twins right now. But the Indians putting on a show in front of their home fans to open this series up. That's a foul ball. Counts 0-2. It's a 13-run game, bottom of the 6th. A little bit inside, counts 1-2. Swing and a miss. This inning mercifully over. The Indians put up another crooked number, a 5-run bottom of the 6th inning. And they now have a 13-run lead over the Twins. It's 15-2 going to inning 7. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis. Top of the 7th inning coming around, and the bottom of the Twins' orders due up. Luis Arias, Alex Avila, and Byron Buxton. Oliver Perez still on the mound. Came in, pitched a scoreless 6th, and now he's pitching in the 7th. And Luis Arias, the one at the plate, responsible for the 2 Twins runs on the board. He hit a 2-run home run off Zach Plesac. And yes, I believe players can pitch, although the game is a little weird about that. I'm not sure if we'll see that happen. I know it's possible, but not likely. One ball, one strike count. Popped into the air. That's played by Lindor. In shallow center field, that's out number 1.
The batter, the catcher, Alex Avila.
So with one out in the top of the 7th inning, that'll bring up Alex Avila, the veteran catcher. Played the majority of his career with the Detroit Tigers and was a part of their very good teams toward the beginning of the 2010s. Was also the catcher in the World Series in 2012 when the Tigers got swept by the Giants. But Avila's bounced around a few teams. The Cubs were one of them, the Diamondbacks were another, but finds himself now on the Twins. And it was supposed to be the backup catcher, but then Mitch Garver got traded to the Dodgers, so he's gotten an opportunity to start. Hasn't put up stellar numbers, but good veteran to have on the team. Too high, counts 1-2. Garver, on the other hand, has been succeeding well with the Dodgers. He's been batting cleanup for them consistently and still hitting home runs at a consistent rate. Swing and a miss, that's out number 2, but It's pretty interesting to see how that developed, too. The two teams that have the best records in Major League Baseball coming into this, the end of the first half of the season executed a trade that involved one of the best power-hitting catchers in recent day. I just find that fascinating, but 2 outs, top of the 7th. Byron Buxton up to the plate, and on the first pitch, he grounds it toward short. Lindor to Santana. That ends the top of the 7th inning. Stretch time here at Progressive Field, and these fans should be happily singing this song because their team leads it 15-2. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis. 2, 3, 4 hitters due up in the Indians' order to begin this half inning. Oscar Mercado, Jose Ramirez, and Carlos Santana. Tyler Clippard still on the mound as Cody Stashak and Corey Guerin. 2 righties now warming up in the Twins bullpen. And I'm not 100% sure that's not a question that I can answer. I wish that position players could pitch to give it a more realistic feel, but that's not the reality of the game right now. Fly toward right, and that'll be foul. They count now 1-2. But Oscar Mercado at the plate. Mercado hit a 2-run home run in the first inning, his only hit of the game so far, and that opened up scoring for the Indians and was the start to their 7-run bottom of the first inning. Since then, he's gone hitless. Inside, counts even 2-2. Mercado, a young outfielder, though, made his debut last season and did well enough to make the Major League roster this year, and so far he's been a consistent outfielder. Swing and a miss, that's out number 1. Second strikeout for Tyler Clippard in this game.
Now batting, third baseman,
He just out in front of an off-speed pitch. Take a look at it again, just dropped out of the zone. Well placed by Clippard. So 1 out, bottom of the 7th. And now here's Jose Ramirez. Ramirez, a switch hitter, batting from the left side, which has been a rarity for him in this game because most Twins pitchers in this game have been left-handed pitchers. But Ramirez 2 for 4 with a couple singles. And just to mention it again, almost every hitter in the Indians' order has a hit, has at least one hit. Roberto Perez, the only Indians hitter in the starting lineup without a hit in this game. This is game 1 of a 3-game weekend series between these two AL Central opponents. That's against the shift and into left field. Rosario plays it against the wall, or by the wall, I should say. He didn't touch the wall, but Ramirez into second base with a 1-out double. That's a couple players now, one from each side, that have beaten the shift. Rosario beat the shift and got himself a double. Ramirez did the same thing. I think he was just late on that low fastball too, but got himself a double anyway. Now here's Carlos Santana, another switch hitter, batting from the left side of the plate. Santana with a double and single in this game, also has scored twice. It's outside, counts 2-0. Santana, an All-Star last season. And a big reason why he made the All-Star game was because Indians fans voted him in. And he did well, too. Definitely deserved an All-Star spot. But just made it extra sweet because he got to play in front of his home crowd during the All-Star game. Donaldson throws to Sano. That's out number 2. So now 2 outs, bottom of the 7th inning.
Up next for Cleveland,
Ramirez still on second base. And here comes Franmil Reyes. Reyes, 4 for 4, a homer, a double, and 2 singles. Still a triple shy of the cycle. And unless the Indians strike for another big inning, this likely his last at bat. 1-0 pitch. Strike called on the outside edge. Counts 1-1. 2 outs, runner in scoring position, and a 13-run lead for the Tribe. That's fouled off. The count 1-2 now. On the ground right side and foul. The count's still 1-2. Tyler Clippard came out of the bullpen in the bottom of the 6th inning to relieve Scott Alexander, and to this point, Clippard, the only one to come out of the Twins bullpen to not give up a run. Every pitcher that came on the mound for the Twins in this game, other than Clippard, has given up at least 1 run. 1-2 pitch. Got him to swing and miss. So the 7th inning ends, and the Twins failed to, the Indians failed to score any more runs, and after 7 full innings, it's a 15-2 Indians lead over the Twins. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. Top of the order, do it for the Twins to begin this half inning. Max Kepler, Jorge Polanco, and Nelson Cruz. Lopsided game, 15-2. The Indians, the number 3 team in the AL Central, leading the first place team and the team with the best record in Major League Baseball, the Twins. Game 1 of a 3-game series that will have a rippling effect in the AL Central. More or less between 3 teams, the Indians, the White Sox, and the Twins. The top 3 teams in the division. Oliver Perez still on the mound. Came in the 6th inning to replace Zach Plesac. Pitched a scoreless 6th and 7th inning.
Nope, inside, ball 2.
And now he's here in the 8th inning. Don't expect to see Brad Hand tonight, the closer of the Indians, or Emmanuel Clase. It's one of the back-end bullpen arms. Perez might even finish out this game, depending on how he feels. He's almost up to 30 pitches. But back ends of bullpens tonight, probably not going to be seen. Tyler Duffy, the closer of the Twins, probably shut down for the night. Brad Hand for the Indians. Counts even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Max Kepler 0 for 3 out of the leadoff spot. And it feels like throughout most of the season, the Twins have done this to other teams, but right now the Twins receiving what they mostly put out, which is lopsided games with several home runs and extra base hits. That's ball 4. Max Kepler with a leadoff walk.
The bat, number 11, shortstop, Jorge Polanco.
So with that, Jorge Polanco will come to the plate, a switch hitter batting from the right side. His only hit was a single in the 1st inning. It was an infield single. Since then, he's gone 0 for 2 in a couple official at-bats. Takes ball 1 there. That's popped up, foul territory. Santana not able to make the play, and that'll go foul. One ball, 1 strike count, and don't forget you're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. This game brought to you by MLB The Show 20. So you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. The name, simply enough, MLB Virtual Network. Search it up on YouTube and you'll find it. Also, you can follow us on Twitter at VirtualMLB is the Twitter handle. You stay up to date on the league. We update you on every team every day. You can find our recap videos in the results and standings update section of our homepage on YouTube. And every video that we post to YouTube, we also post to Twitter, so you can always stay in the know. Here's Nelson Cruz, takes strike 1. But the whole point of this network, if you're new to the network and watching, the whole point is to give you coverage of all 30 Major League Baseball teams just to simulate what the 2020 season might have looked like with the best technology that we have. So we recap every game that's played at the end of every day. We update you on standings at the end of every given day so you can stay right up to date with your favorite team or teams. And we also have a league leaders segment so you can find out which players are doing the best in each league. And there are so many categories that you can look at. And you can pause those videos too and get a good look at where the lists stand. Typically do top 10 or more. So be sure to check it out if you miss baseball. Out to right center field, that's a base hit. Kepler didn't get a great jump, so he's just heading into third now. The relay goes into second. Cruz slides in safely. And that's a one-out double. The Indians in a bit of trouble now. Not long-term trouble, but short-term. Twins threatening to score. Here's Josh Donaldson. 0 for 2, walked once and scored a run. Also, just a reminder to all of you out there that we're broadcasting the All-Star Game in a little less than 2 weeks now. That'll be exciting to watch, and I'll be calling both the Home Run Derby and the All-Star Game. And also important to mention that Major League Baseball's Futures Game will be covered on this network as well, especially since all the rosters now are full minor league rosters with real minor league players. So the names in there will be real. Those are real players that will get to participate in that Futures Game. So you can watch that on MLB Virtual Network. That game will be taking place on Monday. Undetermined time yet, but most likely will be during the day as Donaldson strikes out. Big strikeout for Perez. That's out number 2. But the Futures Game sometime during the day on July the 13th. And then the Home Run Derby will take place sometime that night on Monday, July the 13th. And then the All-Star Game will take place at night on July the 14th, that Tuesday. You can look forward to that as well. Fly out to Jordan Luplow in right field by Eddie Rosario. The top of the 8th inning is over. The Twins get a couple runners in scoring position but fail to score. They still trail it by 13 going to the bottom of the 8th. You're watching Major League Baseball's Virtual Network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis. 6, 7, 8 hitters due up in the Indians order. Domingo Santana, the first to bat, and he'll be followed by he'll be followed by... My mind's drawing a blank. I thought I had it. Let me see. It'll be Domingo Santana, Cesar Hernandez, and then Roberto Perez.
Ball 1, no strike.
Roberto Perez will have most likely one more at bat, or one more plate appearance to get a hit. Swing and a miss. The count's 1-2. But Perez, the only hitter of the 9 starters in the Indians order that has not recorded a hit in this game. 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. Down low, counts 2-2. The Indians, most of the hitters have been on point in this game. Tyler Clippard's still on the mound as well. He came in to relieve Scott Alexander in the 6th inning. He got the final out of the 6th. Pitched a scoreless 7th, and now he's here in the 8th. The only Twins pitcher to this point that hasn't given up a run. Two ball, 2 strike count on Santana, the leadoff hitter of this half inning. Down low, counts full 3-2. And Eric Ledford, I see that in the live chat. We do have one more featured game coming up tonight. Angels and Braves playing each other 9:20 Eastern time. So you can check that game out. Ground ball left side, played by Donaldson, throws to Miguel Sano. That's out number 1.
The batter.
And then tomorrow we have 3 more featured games as usual on this network. The Padres and Mets are playing each other at 1:10 Eastern Time. The Yankees and Blue Jays playing each other at 4:10 Eastern Time. And then the Brewers and Cardinals are playing each other at 7:10 Eastern Time. And by the end of tomorrow night, we'll have a new schedule ready to release to you. And you can check out the games of the week before the All-Star break.
Nope.
And we still have to figure out exactly how we're going to handle the All-Star break schedule, but you'll get some kind of some form somewhere on Twitter and YouTube communicating to you exactly what events will be happening at what times. Though we haven't figured out exactly how we're going to do that yet, we'll be sure to get that to you when the time comes, but we're still over a week away from the All-Star game and the All-Star break and all the events happening, though I'm excited for it. Still got to get it organized, which we will do for you by the time it comes around. 1-out walk issued to Cesar Hernandez. Now here's Roberto Perez.
0-1's the count.
Who's 1 hit away from making the Indians perfect throughout the lineup. And he falls behind quickly. No balls and 2 strikes. He's able to spit on that pitch. Count still 0-2. Got him to swing and miss, so Roberto Perez most likely will be the only hitter in the lineup to not record a hit. Kind of a shame, but hey, oh well, it's still a 15-2 Cleveland Indians lead over the Minnesota Twins. So 2 outs, 9 hitter coming up in the order, Jordan Luplow. Luplow 2 for 4 in this game. Got his hits off the left-handed pitchers that have come out of the bullpen. The Indians have gotten quiet off Clippard. They've been stifled by his pitching. But Luplow hit a grand slam home run in the 6th inning. It scored the 15th run for the Indians, and look at that. That's his 3rd hit of the game. Oh, watch that again. That's a sharply hit ball up the middle. So Hernandez now on second, Luplow on first, and the top of the Indians order comes up again. Francisco Lindor getting his 6th plate appearance of the game. He has a single, a double, and 2 RBIs in this one. Both of Lindor's hits came in the 1st inning. He got to bat twice in the 1st, and he got hits in both at-bats of that 1st inning. Has gone hitless since, though, which is slightly ironic. No ball, 2-strike pitch. Got him to chase. That ends the bottom of the 8th inning. So a couple runners get on for the Indians, but none come around to score. And after 8 full innings, the Indians lead the Twins 15-2.
Your attention, please.
Phil Maytone comes into the game and will pitch for the Indians, making his 40th appearance of the year, and has a .270 ERA and 40 1/3 innings pitched this year. Miguel Sano comes up to the plate. He's 0 for 2.
The first baseman.
Walked back in the 4th inning.
Miguel Sano.
So Phil Maytone just looking to shut the door on this game. Oliver Perez pitched from the 6th to the 8th and didn't give up a run. The only 2 runs the Twins scored were on a Luis Arias 2-run home run, and that was off Zach Plesac in the early stages of the game. No ball, 1-strike pitch. Swing and a miss, counts 0-2. Also just got an update. ESPN, as a source, said that the Cleveland Indians are open to discuss its name. Team says it will engage Cleveland community to determine the best path forward with regards to our team name. And that's part of the issue that's been going on now with the Washington Redskins in the NFL. With all the racism issues that have popped up in recent days, sporting figures have taken kind of a spotlight in all of that. And the Redskins have had issues with their name for years, and said that they'll thoroughly look into seeing what they can do and if they want to change the name. But the Indians involved in that conversation now as well. No ball, 1 strike pitch. It's outside, counts 1-1. Adam Simber and Dominic Leone now warming up in the Indians bullpen. Luis Arraez is responsible for the only 2 runs the Twins have scored in this game. Check swing and no appeal. The home plate umpire says he got hit by the pitch.
Up next for Minnesota, the catcher, Alex.
That's interesting that there was no appeal on that. That was close to being a swing. But the ultimate ruling is hit by pitch, so Arraez is on base. Top of the 9th, runner on first, 1 out, and Alex Avila will come to the plate. He's 0 for 3. So Francisco Lindor got a 6th at bat in this game for the Indians. And some of the Twins hitters now working on their 4th. (15-2) Twins lead. And don't forget, coming up next, another featured game. The Angels are playing the Braves.
I got 1 ball, 1 strike.
The expected start time on that is 9:20 Eastern time. But once this game finishes up, we'll have to reset everything, so we'll get that game to you as soon as possible, but it will come very shortly after this game's conclusion. 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. Strike 3 called at the top of the zone. Avila strikes out again, and that's out number 2. Here in the top of the 9th inning, and the Twins have 1 out to work with and still a mountain to climb, 15-2. They trail by 13 runs. Here's Byron Buxton. 1 hit for him. It was a double back in inning number 5. Luis Arraez is on first base. He got hit by a pitch. That pitch misses upstairs. Both Sano and Avila got out as the number 6 and 8 hitters in the Twins lineup. Indians fans feel comfortable in their seats. And this is certainly be a statement for game 1 of this 3-game series. Out to right, Luplow makes the catch, and the Indians win the series opener in a lopsided manner, 15-2. The final score, the Indians come out on top. And a lopsided victory, mostly in part to their 7-run bottom of the 1st and their 5-run bottom of the 5th, with other runs scattered in between. But game 1 belongs to them, and that will have a ripple effect in the AL Central standings. The Twins fall to 61-28. They still lead the AL Central, but depending on how the White Sox do, it'll either be a 9-game lead or an 8-game lead at the end of the day. The Indians improve to 50-39. They got their 50th win in this game, and they move a game up now on the Twins. They're 2 games back, or excuse me, they're 2.5 games back of the White Sox for 2nd place. And they are now 11 games back of the Twins for 1st. The White Sox still in 2nd, still have yet to play today, but they're now 8.5 games back. And again, depending on Whether the White Sox win or lose, they'll either be 8 games back of the Twins if they win or 9 games back if they lose. But a big 3-game series coming up between these two, and the Indians, the team with the worst record of the two, makes a statement in Game 1. Very simply, Zach Plesac earns the win. He pitched 5 innings, struck out 9 batters, gave up 2 earned runs on 4 hits. Rich Hill did not make it out of the first inning in this game. He pitched 2/3 of an inning, gave up 7 earned runs on 5 hits, didn't strike out a single batter, and walked 1. And he got the loss in this one. Jordan Luplow gets the player of the game in this one. He had several RBIs, 6 to be exact, and 4 of them were on a grand slam home run that he hit in the bottom of the 6th inning. But of the many players that could have gotten player of the game for the Indians in this one, Jordan Luplow is awarded that honor. This has been a presentation of Major League Baseball's virtual network. This game and all of our games brought to you by MLB The Show 20. My name's Nicholas Callis, saying so long from Progressive Field. Don't forget, coming up in just a few minutes, the Angels and Braves feature, our third featured game of the day, will be coming up 9:20 Eastern Time, the scheduled start time for that. But once again, the final score of this game, the Cleveland Indians beat the Minnesota Twins 15-2.